Hey everybody, Jay Average Vintage Collector here with another episode. So for today's episode, I've got an update on my 1952 Bowman Hall of Fame run collection that started, didn't get too far off the ground, and then just kind of came to a halt. 1952 cards, some of them are pretty easy to come by. I was trying to get them all in SGC slabs, and I will show what I have. It's only one card. And it's just kind of after a while of sitting here and thinking, man, it'd be really nice to finish that, but I have so many other projects, and I don't want to have projects that just stay open-ended and seem like they don't have an end in sight. And having that many having that many projects and leaving them open-ended isn't something I really want to do. So the 1952 Bowman is one that's going to kind of come to a screeching halt. And part of that is because there are two really big cards in there that one might be attainable, but the other one I just don't think is going to be attainable. So the one that I don't think is going to be attainable for me is the 1952 Bowman Mickey Mantle. Now, that card is a fantastic card. It's great, but it's not something that I feel like I have to have. I'm not a Mickey Mantle collector. I only have one Mickey Mantle card in my collection, and there's only one other really that I'm targeting ever, and that is the 1960. Those are really the only two that I feel like I want in my collection, or the only one that's left that's in my collection. The 1964 that I have, I bought it because I wanted a Mickey Mantle, and I didn't think I would ever have a Mickey Mantle in my collection. Once I got that, Mickey Mantle doesn't really have any special meaning to me, but I do really enjoy that 1960 set, and he was a great ball player. But I don't feel like I have to have 10 of his cards or every year of his cards. It's just not something I'm doing. So the 1952 would be incomplete. 1952 Bowman would be incomplete without that card, and I don't want to have something that just isn't possible to finish. The other card in that set is the 1952 Willie Mays. Again, it's a higher price card. It's definitely attainable. I just don't, again, Willie Mays I'm not really connected with. There are some cards of his that I do want. 1960, again, is one of them. But there's nothing that I really have to have for him. I'm not looking to get multiple cards of players just to get them because, if there's, that's why I have 7 player runs, is because those are the players that I'm really looking to collect. Now, I do collect here and there when I get a good deal, but for the most part, that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm putting the 1952 Bowman set at least on pause for now. I probably will collect some as they come around, those Hall of Famers, because I do enjoy that set. I think it's a really fantastic set. So I will show you what I have there. But big announcement today is that this is kind of the first episode of my Ball Players and the Bulge collection. Now, that sounds kind of weird, but let me explain it. So my Ball Players and the Bulge, I'm a very big fan or have a lot of interest in World War II. Love that part of history, of American history, and follow it. And the Battle of the Bulge was actually the biggest battle in World War II. It had the most American casualties. The Allied forces were surrounded. It took a very long time. It wasn't just a couple days. This is something that went on for quite a long period of time. And there were quite a few Major League Baseball players that were serving in the military that actually saw combat in the Battle of the Bulge. So what I'm trying to do is combine my enthusiasm for World War II and my enthusiasm for the baseball card hobby and fusing them, and I will be doing the Ball Players and the Bulge collection. Now, it's going to start very slow. I only have one player right now off my checklist. Some of these players are going to be really tough because they don't have cards, but I'm going to do my best to find something with them. So I will go over the list real quick of the players that I found that were giving credit for taking part in this battle. So it's going to be Andy Anderson, who actually does not have a card. He starts off the list. He was a POW for a very long time. He was actually captured during the Battle of Bulge. So this was his story, actually. If you look him up, is pretty wild. And when he came back, I mean, he has suffered frostbite. He suffered a lot. He never had a big major league career, but he was a major league ball player. But Andy Anderson, Murray Dixon, Ralph Houck, Earl Johnson, Jack Knott, Clarence Mattern, Ralph McLeod, Steve Suchak, Warren Spahn, Hank Thompson, Jocko Thompson, Cecil Travis, Ken Trinkle, Ernie White, Dick Whitman, Hoyt Wilhelm, and Monty Irvin. That's the list that I have, and I think that's a pretty good list. So without further ado, I will turn this around and show you some of the cards. I'm going to start showing you the 52 Bowman that I have, and then we'll get on to the other cards. Okay, so for my 1952 Bowman run, I bought this card at a local card show last year. I just happened to run across it. I had a choice of two. It was either Yogi Berra or Phil Rizzuto. Now, I'm not a Yankees fan, but my grandfather he loved Phil Rizzuto. It was his favorite player ever. Absolutely loved that guy. I took a look at this card. I thought it was a really decent price. I enjoyed how it looked, especially in the SGC holder. And there is my 1952 Phil Rizzuto. Really nice shape. Really nice looking card. My only Phil Rizzuto. That one, started my interest in this set. A lot of the cards in the 52 Bowman have that background, that stadium background that I really like. And I think that the artwork is just exceptional. So I really enjoy this set. I like the signatures on the front. It's just a fantastic set. And I'm not giving up on this set, but I'm no longer really looking to complete the Hall of Fame run. And a lot of those players that are in the Hall of Fame have cards in other sets that I actually like a little bit better, some of them. So this is the start and finish of my 52 Bowman Hall of Fame run. But I'm very happy to have this in the collection, and I am looking forward to purchasing more. For right now, I have to put it on pause because I think this is a little better. So my first player in the Ball Players in the Bulge Spotlight is going to be Warren Spahn. So here is his 1960. And here, just that light. And here is 1955. All right, so Warren Spahn, when I was looking up some information on players' military history, a lot of times there's not a lot of specifics to go on. So I have a lot of information on Warren Spahn. He did fight in the Battle of the Bulge, but the war the information that I was able to get all kind of took place in a battle after the Battle of the Bulge. But he still is part of this collection, did see combat there. So Warren Spahn entered military service on December 3rd, 1942. He served with the Army at Camp Chaffee, Arkansas, and pitched for the 1850th Service Unit baseball team. He was sent to Europe in December 1944 with the 1159th Engineer Combat Group's 276th Engineer Combat Battalion. "Let me tell you," Spahn said, "that was a tough bunch of guys. We had people that were let out of prison to go into service. So those were the people I went overseas with, and they were tough and rough, and I had to fit that mold." Spahn soon found himself in the heat of the battle. "We were surrounded in the Hartgen Forest and had to fight our way out of there. Our feet were frozen when we went to sleep, and they were frozen when we woke up. We didn't have a bath or a change of clothes for weeks." In March 1945, the 276 were responsible for maintaining traffic flow across the Ludendorff Bridge at Remagen, the only remaining bridge to span the Rhine. The bridge was under almost constant attack from the Germans, who were desperate to stop the flow of Allied forces into Germany. On March 16th, Spahn was wounded in the foot by shrapnel while working on the Ludendorff. The following day, he had just left the Ludendorff when the entire structure collapsed into the river with the loss of more than 30 Army engineers. The 276th received the Distinguished Unit Emblem, and for his efforts to keep the bridge operating while under constant enemy fire, Staff Sergeant Spahn received a Purple Heart and a battlefield commission as a second lieutenant. After Germany's surrender, First Lieutenant Spahn pitched for the 115th Engineers Group at their base at the University of Heidelberg. In a 4-game stretch, he allowed only 1 run and 9 hits while striking out 73. With the war over, Spahn returned to Boston in 1946 and posted an 8-5 record and a solid .294 ERA. Looking back on his military experience some years later, Spahn said, "After what I went through overseas, I never thought of anything I was told to do in baseball as hard work. You get over feeling that like that when you spend days on end sleeping in frozen tank tracks in enemy-threatened territory. The Army taught me something about challenges and about what's important and what isn't. Everything I tackle in baseball and in life, I take as a challenge rather than work." In his career, Warren Spahn had 100.1 WAR, 363 wins, and a 309 ERA. He's referred to as one of the best left-handed pitchers in baseball history, and he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1973. I hope to do another episode of this after my visit to Strongsville and add a few more players on that list. But thank you all for watching. I'm just an average guy showing some average cards. I really hope that you enjoy